Weezer is an American rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1992. The band consists of Rivers Cuomo, Patrick Wilson, Brian Bell, and Scott Schreiner. The lineup has changed 3 times since its formation in 1992. Weezer has sold 9,200,000 albums in the US and 17,525,000 worldwide. After signing to Geffen Records, Weezer released their debut self-titled album, also known as the Blue Album, in 1994. Backed by successful music videos for the singles Buddy Holly, Undone, the Sweater Song, and Say It Ain't So, the Blue Album became a triple platinum success and received positive reviews. Weezer's second album, Pinkerton, featuring a darker, more abrasive sound, was a commercial failure and initially received mixed reviews, but went on to achieve cult status and critical acclaim years later. Both the Blue Album and Pinkerton are now frequently cited among the best albums of the 1990s. Following Pinkerton, original bassist Matt Sharp left the band and Weezer went on hiatus. In 2001, Weezer returned with another self-titled album, also known as the Green Album, with new bassist Mikey Welsh. Promoted by the singles Hash Pipe and Island in the Sun, the Green Album became a commercial success and received mostly positive reviews. After the album's release, Welsh left the band and was replaced by current bassist Scott Schreiner. Weezer's fourth album, Maladroit, was released in May 2002 to mostly positive reviews, but did not match the sales of the Green Album. Weezer's fifth album, Make Believe, was released in May 2005. Despite mixed reviews, its single Beverly Hills became Weezer's first single to top the US Modern Rock Tracks chart. In June 2008, Weezer's third self-titled album, also known as the Red Album, featuring TR-808s, synths, southern rap, and baroque counterpoint, was released to mild reviews. Its lead single, Pork and Beans, became Weezer's second song to top the Modern Rock Tracks chart, backed by a successful YouTube music video. Weezer's seventh album, Raditude, and eighth album Hurley, featuring more modern pop production, and songs co-written with other artists, achieved further mixed reviews and moderate sales. Their ninth album, Everything Will Be Alright in the End, will be released on September 30, 2014. History, formation and the Blue Album. Vocalist and lead guitarist Rivers Cuomo, drummer Patrick Wilson, bassist Matt Sharp and guitarist Jason Cropper formed Weezer 1992. The band had its first practice on February 14 of that year, and their first gig was opening for Keanu Reeves' band Dog Star shortly after. Weezer signed with Geffen Records on June 25, 1993 and recorded their debut album with producer Rick Ocasek at Electric Lady Studios in New York City. During the recording, Cropper left the band and was replaced by guitarist Brian Bell. Weezer was released in May 1994. Geffen originally did not wish to release a single, to see what sales could be generated by word of mouth alone. DJ Marco Collins of the Seattle radio station The End started playing Undone, the Sweater Song, leading Geffen to release it as the first single. The music video was directed by Spike Jonze. Filmed in an unbroken take, it featured Weezer performing on a soundstage with little action, bar a pack of dogs swarming the set. The video became an instant hit on MTV. Jonze also directed the band's second video, Buddy Holly, splicing footage from the 1970s television sitcom Happy Days with Weezer performing in a remade Arnold's Drive-In. The video achieved heavy rotation on MTV and went on to win 4 MTV Video Music Awards, including Breakthrough Video and Best Alternative Music Video, and 2 Billboard Music Video Awards. The video was also featured on the companion CD for the Microsoft Windows 95 computer operating system. A third single, Say It Ain't So, followed. Weezer is certified triple platinum in the United States, making it Weezer's best-selling album. It is certified double platinum in Canada. Pinkerton. In 1994, Weezer took a break from touring for the Christmas holidays. Cuomo traveled back east to his home state of Connecticut, and using an 8-track recorder, he began piecing together demo material for Weezer's next album. The original concept for Weezer's second album was to be a space-themed rock opera, Songs from the Black Hole. The album was intended to feature songs that flowed together seamlessly and end with a special coda that briefly revisited the major musical elements of the piece. The band began demoing and working on Cuomo's concept through intermittent recording sessions in the spring and summer of 1995. Ultimately, the Songs from the Black Hole album concept was dropped. The album would instead feature songs composed before the band's first album as well as some new ones written while Cuomo was at Harvard. Weezer's second album, Pinkerton, was released on September 24, 1996. 3 singles were taken from the album, El Scorcho, The Good Life, and Pink Triangle. The album's title sparked a legal challenge. Pinkerton Securities of Encino, California, filed a temporary injunction against the band and its Geffen record label for trademark infringement 2 days before the album was to be released on September 24, 1996. A judge ruled for Weezer, and the album was finally released. This injunction caused Geffen to hold back some of the initial advertising and promotion for the album, possibly contributing to the album's slow initial sales. Due to initial weak sales, the album was, at first, viewed as a commercial failure, especially when viewed in light of the multi-platinum success of their debut album. The album failed to gain traction in the mainstream music world, perhaps due to its darker, more abrasive sound. Pinkerton was labeled one of the worst albums of 1996 by a Rolling Stone reader poll. However, word of mouth kept the trickle of sales going and eventually the record achieved cult status. In the book The 90s, Rolling Stone ranked Pinkerton number 48 in the 100 best albums of the 90s. Break and Sharp's leaving, Weezer completed their touring for Pinkerton in the summer of 1997. The members of the band took a break, with drummer Patrick Wilson returning to his home in Portland, Oregon to work on his side project, The Special Goodness. Matt Sharp left to complete the follow-up album for his group The Rentals. And Brian Bell went to work on his group, Space Twins. Rivers Cuomo returned to Boston, Massachusetts, but took a break from Harvard to focus on songwriting. Cuomo gathered Boston-area musicians and rehearsed new material, including possible songs for the next Weezer album. The group, referred to by fans as the Rivers Cuomo Band, had several different lineups and played several shows at local clubs, including their first show at TT. The Bears on October 8, 1997. Future Weezer bassist Mikey Welsh was a constant of the group's evolving lineups. Pat Wilson eventually flew to Boston to sit in on drums. The Boston songs were later abandoned and not used on the next Weezer album, but live recordings of the Boston shows are openly traded on the Internet. In February 1998, Rivers left Boston and returned to Los Angeles. Pat Wilson and Brian Bell joined Cuomo in Los Angeles to start work on the next album. Rumors suggest Matt Sharp did not rejoin the band and left the group in April 1998, something Sharp denies. The group decided on Mikey Welsh's Sharp's replacement. Weezer continued rehearsing and cut demos until the fall of 1998. Frustration and creative disagreements led to a decline in rehearsals, and in late fall of 1998, drummer Pat Wilson left for his home in Portland pending renewed productivity from Cuomo. In November 1998, the band played 2 club shows in California under the name Goat Punishment. The shows consisted entirely of Nirvana and Oasis cover songs, respectively. In the months following, Rivers Cuomo went into a period of admitted depression, painting the walls of his home black and putting fiberglass insulation all over the windows and then black sheets of fiberglass so that no light could get through. The Green Album. The band would not reunite until April 2000, when the Fuji Rock Festival in Japan offered Weezer a high-paying gig to play in August 2000. The festival served as a catalyst for Weezer's productivity, and from April to May 2000, the band rehearsed and demoed new songs in Los Angeles. The band returned to live shows in June 2000, playing small unpromoted concerts under the pseudonym Goat Punishment. In June 2000, the band joined the Warped Tour for 9 dates. In the summer of 2000, Weezer went on tour. Weezer's setlist consisted of 14 new songs that fans have labeled the Summer Songs of 2000. When 13 of these songs did not appear on Weezer's next album, fans of the song started a petition demanding the release of studio versions. Eventually, the band went back into the studio to produce a third album. They chose the title, Weezer, to repeat the self-titled name of their first release. This album quickly became known as the Green Album due to its distinctive bright green coloring. Shortly after the release of the album, Weezer went on another American tour. They attracted a new generation of fans thanks to heavy MTV rotation for the videos of their hit singles Hash Pipe and Island in the Sun. As reported on August 16, 2001, by MTV, bassist Mikey Welch was checked into a psychiatric hospital. His whereabouts were previously unknown, as he mysteriously went missing before the filming of the second video for Island in the Sun. Weezer was prompted to find a temporary replacement for Welch. Through a mutual friend, Cuomo received Scott Schreiner's number and asked if he was interested in filling in for Welch. Schreiner accepted the invitation. Maladroit. The band took an experimental approach for the recording process of their fourth album by allowing fans to download demos from their official website in return for feedback. After the release of the album, the band said that this process was something of a failure, as the fans did not supply them with coherent, constructive advice. Cuomo eventually delegated song selection for the album to the band's original A&R rep, Todd Sullivan, saying that Weezer fans chose the wackest songs. Only the song Slob was included on the album due to general fan advice. The recording was also done without input from Weezer's record label, Interscope. Cuomo had what he then described as a massive falling out with the label. In early 2002, well before the official release of the album, the label sent out a letter to radio stations requesting the song be pulled until an official, sanctioned single was released. Interscope also briefly shut down Weezer's audio-video download webpage, removing all the MP3 demos. Online Weezer fans staged a brief protest, with several websites proclaiming Free Maladroit. In April 2002, former bassist Matt Sharp sued the band, alleging, among several accusations, that he was owed money for co-writing several Weezer songs. The suit was later settled out of court. The fourth album, Maladroit, was released on May 14, 2002, only 1 year after its predecessor. The album served as a harder-edged version of the band's trademark catchy pop-influenced music, and was replete with busy 1980s-style guitar solos. Although met with generally positive critical reviews, its sales were not as strong as those for the Green Album. 2 singles were released from the album. The music video for Dope Nose featured an obscure Japanese motorcycle gang, and was put into regular rotation. The music video for Keep Fishing combined Weezer with the Muppets, and had heavy rotation on MTV. Both videos were directed by Marcos Siega. Weezer released their much-delayed first DVD on March 23, 2004. The video capture device DVD chronicles the band from its beginnings through Maladroit's Enlightenment tour. Compiled by Carl Koch, the DVD features home video footage, music videos, commercials, rehearsals, concert performances, television performances, and band commentary. The DVD was certified gold on November 8, 2004. Make Believe. From December 2003 to the fall of 2004, the members of Weezer recorded a large amount of material intended for a new album to be released in the spring of 2005 with producer Rick Rubin. The band's early recording efforts became available to the public through the band's website. The demos were a big hit, but none of the songs recorded at this time were included on the finished album. That album, titled Make Believe, was released on May 10, 2005. Despite commercial success, Make Believe got a mixed reception from critics, receiving an average score of 52 on Review Collator Metacritic. Although some reviews, such as AMG's, compared it favorably to Pinkerton, others, among them Pitchfork Media's score of 0.4 out of 10, panned the album as predictable and lyrically poor. The album's first single, Beverly Hills, became a hit in the US and worldwide, staying on the charts for several months after its release. It became the first Weezer song to hit number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. Beverly Hills was nominated for Best Rock Song at the 48th Annual Grammy Awards, the first ever Grammy nomination for the band. The video was also nominated for Best Rock Video at the 2005 MTV Video Music Awards. The second single off Make Believe was We Are All on Drugs. MTV refused to play the song, so Weezer re-recorded the lyrics by replacing On Drugs with In Love, and renaming the song We Are All in Love. In early 2006, it was announced that Make Believe was certified platinum, and Beverly Hills was the second most popular song download on iTunes for 2005, finishing just behind Hollaback Girl by Gwen Stefani. Make Believe's third single, Perfect Situation, spent 4 weeks in a row at number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. This Is Such a Pity was the band's fourth single from the album, but no music video was made for its release. The Make Believe tour also found the band using additional instruments on stage, adding piano, synthesizers, pseudophones, and guitarist Bobby Schneck. The band has announced the possible release of a live DVD composed of footage from the 2005 Japan tour. It will consist of a 2-day, 7-camera shoot of the shows in Japan, plus material that will be drawn from various behind-the-scenes footage. The DVD was announced in late 2005, but in a 2006 update on the band's website, Carl Koch noted it was apparently edited, but has been put on hold for now. The Red Album. Weezer was released in June 2008. Rick Rubin produced the album and Rich Costey mixed it. The record was described as experimental, and according to Cuomo, included longer and non-traditional songs, TR-808 drum machines, synthesizers, southern rap, baroque counterpoint, and band members other than Cuomo writing, singing, and switching instruments. Pat Wilson said the album cost about $1 million to make, contrasting it with the $150,000 budget of the Blue Album. The album's singles were produced by Jack Lee. Its lead single, Pork and Beans, topped the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks charts for 11 weeks, and its music video won a Grammy for Best Short-Form Music Video. The second single, Troublemaker, debuted at number 39 on the Billboard Hot Modern Rock Tracks chart and peaked at number 2. In October 2008, the group announced that the third single would be The Greatest Man That Ever Lived. On May 30, 2008, the Toledo Free Press revealed in an interview with Scott Schreiner that Weezer would be unveiling the Hootenanny Tour, in which fans would be invited to bring their own instruments to play along with the band. Said Schreiner, "They can bring whatever they want. Oboes, keyboards, drums, violins, and play the songs with us as opposed to us performing for them." The band performed 5 dates in Japan at the beginning of September and then embarked on what was dubbed the Troublemaker Tour, consisting of 21 dates around North America, including 2 in Canada. Angels and Airwaves and Tokyo Police Club joined them as support at each show, and Brian Bell's other band The Relationship also performed at a handful of dates. Shortly before the encore at each show, the band would bring on fans with various instruments and perform Island in the Sun and Beverly Hills with them. At a show in Austin, after Tokyo Police Club had played their set, Rivers was wheeled out in a box and mimed to a recording of Rare Weezer demo, My Brain, dressed in pajamas and with puppets on his hands, before being wheeled off again. This bizarre event later surfaced as the climax to a promo video for Cuomo's second demo album, Alone 2. Raditude. Weezer toured with Blink-182 in 2009, including an August 30 stop at the Virgin Festival at Merriweather Post Pavilion in Columbia, Maryland. Drummer Josh Freese joined Weezer on a temporary basis to play drums on the tour, while Pat Wilson switched to guitar. Wilson said in an interview for Yahoo! Music that Cuomo wanted to be active and more free on stage, and him having guitar on was an impediment. Freese stated he was a Weezer fan and did not want to pass up the opportunity to play with them. Raditude's album artwork was revealed on September 11, featuring a National Geographic contest-winning photograph of a jumping dog named Sydney. The record's release was pushed to November 3, 2009, where it debuted as the 7th best-selling album of the week on the Billboard 200 chart. The band's scheduled tour dates in December 2009, extending into early 2010 to coincide with the new album's release. On December 6, 2009, Cuomo was injured when his tour bus crashed in upstate New York due to black ice. Cuomo suffered 3 broken ribs, and his assistant broke 2 ribs. His wife, baby daughter, and their nanny were also on the bus, but they escaped injury. Weezer cancelled tour dates the following day. The band resumed touring on January 20, 2010. In December 2009, it was revealed that the band was no longer with Geffen Records. The band stated that they would still release new material, but they were unsure of the means, whether it be self-released, released online, or getting signed by another label. Eventually, the band was signed to the independent label Epitaph. Hurley and Death to False Metal. Weezer co-headlined the Bamboozle in May 2010, and performed at the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival in Manchester, Tennessee in June. In August 2010, Weezer performed at the Reading and Leeds Festival, and performed at the Voodoo Experience Festival in New Orleans, Louisiana in October 2010. The album Hurley was released in September 2010 through Epitaph Records. The name comes from the character Hugo Hurley Reyes from the television show Lost. Jorge Garcia, the actor who portrayed Hurley, stated that being featured on the album cover is one of the biggest honors of his career. Weezer used internet streaming service YouTube as a way to promote the album. Weezer loaned itself to 15 amateur online video producers, going along with whatever plans the creator could execute in about 30 minutes. They have used many of the popular channels to promote themselves, such as Barely Political, Ray William Johnson and Fred Figglehorn. The Gregory brothers solicited musical and vocal contributions from the band on one of its compositions built around speeches by Representative Charles Rangel and President Barack Obama. Weezer calls the promotion the YouTube invasion. In November 2010, Weezer released a compilation album composed of re-recorded versions of unused recordings spanning various years, Death to False Metal. On the same day a deluxe version of Pinkerton, which includes 25 demos, outtakes and live tracks was also released. A third volume of Rivers Cuomo's solo Alone series, titled Alone 3, The Pinkerton Years, consisting of demos and outtakes from the Pinkerton sessions, was released on December 12, 2011. They also contributed a cover of The Cars You Might Think for the Disney-Pixar film Cars 2. On October 8, 2011, former bassist Mikey Welsh was found dead in a Chicago, Illinois hotel room. Weezer performed in Chicago the very next day, and dedicated the concert to Welsh. The band began working on their 9th studio album in September 2010 with the intent of a 2011 release, but the year ended without seeing a release. The band headlined a 4-day rock-themed carnival cruise from Miami to Cozumel that set sail on January 19, 2012. In July 2012, Weezer headlined the inaugural Bonnaroo Music Festival in Cincinnati, Ohio. In early 2013 the band toured Australia, for their Memories tour, their first there since 1996. They played their first 2 albums in full at several venues. They also headlined the Punk Spring 2013 tour in Japan and later in the year toured Canada and USA. Everything Will Be Alright in the End. In January 2014, the band started to record their 10th studio album with producer Rick Ocasek, who previously worked with the band on their first 2 self-titled albums. A clip of a new song was posted on the band's official YouTube account on March 19, 2014, which confirmed previous rumors of the band being in the studio. On June 12, 2014, it was revealed that the album title would be Everything Will Be Alright in the End. It is scheduled to be released on September 30, 2014. The band announced on July 21, 2014 that the album would be available for pre-order on Pledge Music. Musical style and influences, Weezer have been described as alternative rock, power pop, pop punk, emo and indie rock. Many modern bands, such as Real Estate, Dinosaur Pile-Up, Cymbals Eat Guitars and The Fall of Troy, list Weezer as an influence. Weezer themselves have listed several influences, among them Kiss, Nirvana, The Beach Boys, Pixies, Sonic Youth, Oasis, and Wax. Early Weezer demos, such as Paperface, have obvious musical ties to the Pixies and Nirvana. Also, the song Suzanne originally contained the lyrics, Even Kurt Cobain and AXL Rose, before being changed to Even Izzy, Slash, and AXL Rose after Cobain's death. There is also a direct reference to Nevermind and Heart Songs, a track found on the Red Album. As a side project, Weezer briefly played Nirvana and Oasis covers under the stage moniker Goat Punishment. In 1998, Weezer covered Valyria by the Pixies for a tribute album, and in 2005 briefly got to tour with their idols for a few dates. Green Day has also been said to be an influence, and it has been acknowledged that the two bands are friends and enjoy each other's music. Weezer contributed the song Worry Rock to A Different Shade of Green, tribute to Green Day. Cuomo also covered Brain Stew in a 2009 AOL session set. Solo work, Rivers Cuomo released a demo compilation album titled Alone, the home recordings of Rivers Cuomo on December 18, 2007. The album contains demos of Cuomo's that span from 1992 to 2007, including songs from Weezer's abandoned second album, Songs from the Black Hole. His second demo album, Alone 2, the home recordings of Rivers Cuomo, was released on November 25, 2008. The album includes further tracks from Songs from the Black Hole, early versions of songs later released as full band demos, and other demo tracks. Cuomo also released the 12-song original album Scott and Rivers on March 20, 2013 from his side project of the same name. Scott and Rivers is a collaborative effort between Cuomo and Alistair Scott Murphy, in which the two share lead vocal duties and sing in a mixture of Japanese and English. Patrick Wilson has started his side project The Special Goodness in 1996, for which he sings and plays guitar and bass. In May 2012, he released his fourth record with The Special Goodness, entitled Natural. Brian Bell has been working on a solo project called The Relationship, and did not write any songs for Attitude in order to save material for his solo work. He has also collaborated with Space Twins. Also, Mikey Welsh played with Juliana Hatfield, The Kick Covers, Hiatus, Joko Bono, Slower and Left Nut. Patrick Wilson records with The Special Goodness. And Matt Sharp is in the Rentals and performs alone under his own name. Contributions: on December 4, 2008, iOS developer Tabulous released the game Christmas with Weezer, featuring a gameplay similar to Tap Tap Revenge and 6 Christmas carols performed by the band. A digital EP featuring the songs, titled Christmas with Weezer, was also released on December 16, 2008. On June 11, 2010, the band released a new single, Represent. The song was said to be an unofficial U.S. anthem to coincide with the 2010 FIFA World Cup. On February 12, 2011, Weezer performed a live set for Guitar Center Sessions on Direct. The episode included an interview with Weezer by program host, Nick Harcourt. The band recorded a cover of I'm a Believer for the movie Shrek Forever After. Band members: current members, Rivers Cuomo lead vocals, guitar, keyboards, harmonica, Patrick Wilson drums, percussion, guitar, vocals, keyboards, Brian Bell guitar, vocals, keyboards, harmonica, Scott Schreiner bass guitar, vocals, keyboards. Former members: Matt Sharp bass guitar, backing vocals, Jason Cropper guitar, backing vocals, Mikey Welsh bass guitar, backing vocals. Timeline. Discography. Studio albums: Weezer, Pinkerton, Weezer, Maladroit, Make Believe, Weezer, Raditude, Hurley, Everything Will Be Alright in the End. References. External links: official website, related information.